right along, please welcome to the blue corner, Jayson Pineda.
Jayson Pineda, 3-0 record, first time inside the Fury cage as an amateur, made his debut February of 2022. Fought 3 times last year, February, June, and October, and the best part, all stoppages.
Yeah, 3-0 with all stoppages as an amateur. That's a lot to deal with, and you know, it's also, you know, it's a big feat in itself to kind of have that kind of record to go in. And you see, when you look at Jayson Pineda, you don't think, man, if I saw this dude walking down the street, this dude's just a savage. He's like, I mean, he looks like you know, just a normal guy, but this dude is the real deal. 3-0, 3 finishes. This is a good up-and-coming amateur.
Fighting out of Corpus Christi, the Blade, training at South Texas Fight Academy. The 21-year-old trying to get his 4th amateur win. He is inside with that beautiful mullet. Let's meet his opponent.
Please welcome to the red corner, Lee Charles.
Lee Charles coming off his first loss ever. 6th time inside the Fury amateur cage. Lost to Jake Christensen back at the, lost to Jake Christensen for the title. And now Lee Charles trying to see what he has on that rebound.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly wants to get back in that title contention. You know, the amateur 185 title is, you know, it's a tough one to get. Fury doesn't have a ton of middleweights on their roster, but the ones they do are absolute savages on the pro level and on the amateur level. So Lee Charles trying to get back in here. This is a very good matchup and a good test for Jayson Pineda. You know, Lee Charles looks like a middleweight. Pretty decent sized middleweight at 6 foot, 184 pounds. Probably walks around at 200, 205 pounds.
Lee Charles got caught with that ninja choke at Fury Amateur Series 41, which was right before Fury Challenger Series 2. Confusing, but trust us, it happened.
Yeah.
He is inside. Let's go and get our official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, brought to you by Space City Collective, is scheduled for 3 rounds in the Fury Amateur Series middleweight division. Introducing your first competitor, fighting out of the blue corner. This mixed martial artist stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, and he weighed in at 183.4 pounds. Fighting out of Corpus Christi, Texas, he's undefeated as an amateur, holding a record of 3 wins, no losses. This is Jayson Pineda. And introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This freestyle fighter stands 6 feet tall, and he weighed in at 184.8 pounds. Fighting out of the War Training Center in Houston, Texas, he holds an amateur record of 4 wins, only 1 defeat, presenting the former Fury Amateur Series middleweight champion, no refunds, Lee Charles. Your referee in charge, Jeff Rexroad.
All right, we've got a treat for everybody. Juan Adams is here with us. Was supposed to fight today, but fight got scrapped. Juan, how are you, buddy? Never mind, let's try that again.
How about it now, Juan? Is it on?
All right, we'll get that going in just a second, but we promise you Juan Adams is here. All right, let's try it now. Juan, how you doing, man? Doing all right, man. We got to press that button now. Let's try it now. Juan's on, I promise. Here we go, Juan.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
There
Doing
we
all
are.
right, man. Hey, man, tough break. I know you really wanted to get back here. You flew down for this fight. You're supposed to main event this awesome card, but your opponent couldn't make weight, Austin Green. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but how was fight camp for you, man?
Honestly, man, this is a great camp for me. There was a lot of things that happened during this camp that normally would have broken my focus or tested me otherwise. And that just didn't happen this time. Everything sent to distract me. I was able to compartmentalize, brush it off to the side, release and accept, and it really opened a different level of my training.
A good aggressive start here from Jayson Pineda. Blue gloves, red for Lee Charles. I'm glad you didn't take the first flight out and you stuck around and at least hung out with us. It's good to see you. Whoa, a little slip there.
Yeah, Lee Charles looked like he was going to grab the head there at first. Decided against it, wanted to get this back up to the feet, wants to get in front of Pineda. Pineda doing a good job of isolating the legs here of Lee Charles, trying to get this, he's desperately trying to get this fight to the ground. Was a little bit out of position there. Ooh, really close on that knee.
Yeah, that was a little questionable, but Jeff Rexroad didn't see anything to warn or stop.
Yeah, I saw him turn his head kind of sideways. He looked at him like, maybe a little bit close. But both fighters back to their feet. And Juan, I know it's devastating for you to lose a matchup like this. You were the main event today. You're trying to get back up to the highest level, and not just us, but all around the country, they're having a hard time finding new fights. And so not a lot of people want to fight Juan Adams. So when something breaks down like this and something falls out, I know it's got to be devastating for you.
Yeah, it's extremely devastating, especially because, this was the fight I was going to use to really launch myself back into fighting full time. I won't be returning to my day job after I'm going to finish out my contract for this year, but for this school year anyway, but I'm done with that, and I'm really looking to do this full time again. So I was definitely going to use this fight to kind of propel that forward and set up some other things for myself, but can't happen now, or it didn't happen. I actually offered to keep the fight going. I didn't care what weight he was. I was that confident in my ability. Like, he could have come in at 290, and I was still going to take the fight.
Yeah, we heard he passed out whenever he saw you with your shirt off, so we not sure what that was about. But yeah, I mean, Austin Green, a formidable competitor. We've seen Austin in here. We've called his fights, and so I think there may have been some sickness or something that went along with that maybe caused him to back out, or maybe was it? Did you get any indication of that, or did you think he just didn't want to fight?
I truly believe he just didn't want to fight. It's okay, I've been in that position before. There's a lot of people that have fought me and have never been the same. But with him, he's 5-0. He's a big prospect. He probably knew that this fight would, over a vet, if he could get a win over a vet like me, it was going to propel him. And that's a lot of pressure to be under. I understand it. He understands that, losing to me, one, you'll never be yourself again, and two, it sets you back to these fights and get a big call-up.
Juan, look over here real quick on this little itty-bitty camera, but just everyone wants to say hi to you, so Juan Adams is
which
here.
One?
Right there, that little one.
Yeah.
With the shirt on.
Yeah.
He did post his annual, or his fight tradition of the shirtless selfie, which we all appreciate.
Yeah, you guys got the OnlyFans sponsorship, so I might have to start promoting more again there. But yeah, that's the other thing. I knew that he's really big into social media, posting about the fights, posting photos of himself, trying to look like a monster. So that's why I kind of decreased posting my own shirtless selfies, because I'm a certified monster. I don't want him to get that scared again, but. And I also promised the girl I was seeing that I wouldn't be drawing that much attention to myself throughout this fight camp.
Gotcha.
So, I kept it pretty low profile, but some people still, seeing me in person is definitely a different experience.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that Austin made a list on MMA Junkie as a guy, if he won, could possibly get a shot and maybe some pressure. Is there a chance, if he wants to get this fight again with you, would you agree to it if we can do it at a different card?
Honestly, man, you can ask Eric, anyone here. There's never been a fight I've said no to. So I do this because I love to fight. It's something that is a release for me. It brings a lot of different areas in my life to the front, and it's a very spiritual experience, and I can't get enough of it. So if he were to accept the fight again, I doubt he would. Yeah, I'd be open to it, but I really just feel like he didn't want it this time, and that's okay. I understand if you don't want to fight, you don't want to fight. I'm not going to force someone to.
So did Eric give you any indication that he was going to try to get you on maybe the Tulsa card, the New Orleans card, something like that coming up in the next month or so? Has he given you any indication yet?
I've received no indication of that. The biggest thing for me is I had to use all of my remaining sick days and PTO days.
Guys, Pineda and Charles look like they're still feeling each other out. They've only got 3 minutes per round, guys. You got to get in there. But, you know, this is, you know, both fighters have some knockout power. And so I'm sure both fighters are a little bit afraid after coming off a loss in his title fight. He's a little bit afraid of catching a punch there. He landed semi-effectively at parts of the round, but you know, neither guy really stepping forward to engage. You see a nice left hand there, right on the forehead. Everything else landed on the elbows. He had a good flurry. Everything else landing on the elbows, so nothing really big landing here. But you know, nice second round from Lee Charles. I gotta think he's ahead a little bit. Maybe both rounds won by Lee Charles.
Juan, let's talk about what you're doing outside of fighting, the YouTube channel. I know you were excited about that. Tell me a little bit about it.
All right, so my YouTube channel is going to be called, it's already called Cracking Cares, but it's more so about the social emotional aspect of life and things like that. I'm getting certified in coaching for SEL, as well as a couple of other things I'm working on, but for the channel, it's really more just focused on philosophical discussions and really kind of the deeper truths out there and finding your own alignment and spirituality and things like that, as well as, you know, just kind of general life coaching in general.
That's good.
I was kind of led to that direction, you know, right after the UFC. I started working in behavioral health again, and that was really eye-opening, and I loved doing it, which then led me to teaching, which I also love for a different reason, but I feel with my own channel, I can really start to bring attention to the things that I deem significant, and whoever wants to listen can come join and have some deep conversations about it. But I just think that'll be a bigger contribution to where I can impact more people that way, as opposed to being stuck in the classroom.
Love to hear that. The more information and more Juan Adams we can get out in the world, man, it's better. So I'm glad you started up the channel.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, round 3 in this middleweight showdown. Ooh, big kick there.
Lee Charles with a little bit of a connection on a low blow there. It looked like it barely got him. Pineda telling him it's okay, and then took a kick to the back of the thigh right after that. Pineda thinking maybe he should have taken a break for that cup slap. But you see Pineda having a real difficulty with the reach of Lee Charles. And the reach is not that much different. Charles is using it a little bit better than Pineda. But Pineda, like we said, with three fights, 3 finishes, having no answer so far for the striking of Lee Charles.
And only 3 inches on the reach, 75-72. But at 5'8", Jayson Pineda having a lot of trouble against a 6-footer, Lee Charles.
Yeah, and 6 foot's even a little bit short. That's maybe average, but maybe a little bit short for most of the middleweights that he'll face.
And every time I see a beautiful mullet like Pineda's, I'm like, man, I need to get back and get that mullet. It's good. I got to convince my wife. That's the biggest
I got a $100 bill for a Raheel mullet debut.
I'll do it for you. Next haircut I get, I'll start the process. I had a mullet for a long time after college. We all experiment after college.
Yeah, tell Juan what you had in college.
Oh, yeah, I had cornrows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I got a great picture of Raheel with cornrows.
Yeah, Allen Iverson, baby.
Yeah.
It's the culture, man. It's the culture. You have to do it for the culture.
Allen Iverson changed the game for a bunch of white kids and Pakistani kids.
While we're getting close to the end of round 3 here, we've enjoyed having you for this, sit in with us for this fight. We think you're an amazing human being, a savage heavyweight. We look forward to seeing you in there. I hope it's very, very soon. And I hope you get what you want out of this and your YouTube channel and life itself. You're a great dude, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us, Juan. We appreciate it, man.
Juan, we'll see you soon.
Let's take a look at round 3 highlights.
Yeah, Lee Charles, landing the better punches here. Neither guy doing anything very devastating to the other. You can see both guys took very little damage. Both guys could probably fight again in a couple of weeks, but the story of this fight is the leg kicks. Pineda did have a takedown in round 2. Wasn't able to do much with it, but Lee Charles landing the better punches. I think this is a 29-28 Lee Charles victory. But I mean, it's just, it's neither fighter. This is something that a fighter, either fighter, if they could have finished this fight, this would have been a good finish for either one. It turned out to be that these guys just did not want to get caught by the other. So a very careful game plan for them, but an entertaining fight nevertheless.
And we'll see how the judges will score this. To let you know, we do have a heavyweight title fight coming up here in just a second at Inside Fury Amateur Series, and then we have 2 pro prelims, and then we go live on UFC FIghtPass at 4:30 p.m. for Compton taking on England. That's going to be a fun main event. We have 6 fights scheduled for our main card, so we hope to find you there as well. Make sure you subscribe to UFC FIGHTPass and join us on there. All right, looks like the judges have scored everything.
And on that note, Raheel, we've got some exciting news about some happenings from Fury Fighting Championship in the UFC that we're going to announce on UFC FIGHTPass, so you better stay tuned for that.
All right, let's see how the judges scored. This here is Wayne Leggett.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of combat, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision brought to you by OnlyFans. All 3 judges scored the fight 30-27, declaring a winner by unanimous decision. No refunds. Lee Charles.
Congratulations to Lee Charles. Gets back to his winning ways. Picks up his 5th win as an amateur. 2 more amateur fights left for you. Next one's going to be a lot of fun. I've been waiting for this one. Let's meet our first fighter.